Ilke Panzer. Welcome and thank you. Sloan Partners would like to thank you for your time here this morning and welcome you to this opportunity to talk. As Senior Vice President of Diagnostic Laboratories at the BloodCenter of Wisconsin, it's a fairly significant laboratory. The work that you do at the BloodCenter is global in nature and quite interesting. And so what we thought we would do is, if it's okay with you, start with a little bit about the BloodCenter in general and give you the opportunity to introduce the organization.
So we look at three aspects in product development. The first, as I mentioned, the clinical unmet need. So we have physicians, both from within our organization, but also from outside of our organization, who talk to us, and we have different venues through which we do this: advisory board meetings or informal gatherings, or just one-on-one in the programs that we work with,
right,
to understand what their issues are when they're diagnosing patients and determining treatment.
Yeah.
And so that's one aspect. The other one is from a science and technology perspective, and this is where our scientists come in saying what new technology or scientific insights are available to us that would allow us to do something to solve this new problem or this problem differently than we ever could before. And that's particularly where molecular diagnostics and genomics obviously plays a big role, and the rapid advances in sequencing and next generation sequencing, whole genome sequencing, offer totally different possibilities. And then the third aspect is from a market and competitive perspective, what would make sense for us to invest in, because that would be something that we could also be sustainably successful with. And so understanding the regulatory implications, the patent landscape, as well as the overall competitive landscape and pricing situations.
So how does that all come out? What was the timeline, for example, of the case study that you shared with us earlier with the invention regarding sickle cell testing? What's the timeline, from, aha to market?
Well, it depends on the complexity of the issue. And so in this particular one, we knew that blood banks nationwide struggled to be able to identify enough matching units for these special needs patients. And we had been on the outlook, and there were some commercial companies out there that had solutions, and we evaluated those, but we didn't find any of those really satisfying our needs. So we kept on the outlook, and we actually, in the end, adopted a technology that is largely used in agriculture and seed engineering, because that was very cost effective, and from a technology perspective exactly what we needed. So we worked with a company that developed the technology to adapt that to our specific niche and translated that. So we needed to first, of course, perform a feasibility study to make sure this actually would work and give us the quality results that we were looking for. So that took a period of time. I want to say probably about 1.5 to 2 years to develop the technology, to implement it, and to run a statistically significant large number of donors through that and evaluate results. After we satisfied ourselves with that, we then proceeded to a much larger number of donors that we determined to be the right number for our donor population, so that it would give us the results that we were looking for. But now we have this as a service offering available. So we're talking with many other blood centers or blood providers about the donor testing, and from the hospital perspective, they're very interested in the patient molecular typing solutions that we have.
And I would imagine that marketing that testing then becomes instrumental in educating.
It is really more the education than the marketing, because the most important thing is that you understand clinically what it is that you're looking to accomplish and how it changes the way that you would treat a patient and the outcome. And so that's a really important aspect. Our physicians play an important role with that. We oftentimes generate case studies there and generate data and publish those. Our physicians speak at the various respective conferences. They publish, and so do our scientists. And so that's a big part of what we provide, really. We think of it more as education rather than marketing.
Are there companies that would allow you a significant strategic partnership?
That's a really great point. And you probably know that for BloodCenter of Wisconsin, our tagline is doing more good than you know,
yes.
which is a very interesting statement, but it's also a challenge for us. Doing more good than you know means that a lot of people don't know what we're doing, and that is certainly the case. I think we get a lot of visibility, particularly through our blood organization and our blood drives, of course, locally in Wisconsin. Nationwide, our connections tend to be more of academic nature or peer-to-peer referrals. And with not having an extensive sales or marketing organization. You know, the natural partnership fit with for us are other hospitals and hospital outreach programs. And we don't really think that we compete in any way with them because we are so niche specialized.
Right.
And
so unique.
So really, as much as we can get in touch and get connected with the laboratory leadership at hospital and health systems, I think there's a lot to be gained for both sides.
Terrific, terrific. Well, thank you for your time. This has
You're
been
welcome.
fun.
Thank you, Tara. It's
Thank
been
you.
enjoyable.